So, guys, you know what I don't like is the anxiety cost. The anxiety that comes with wanting to do something and then not really knowing whether you're going to do it perfect enough, and then just waiting and waiting, and basically just kind of consumes you, but you don't really know it. And that's sort of what happened with this. I wanted to record this, and I have all these notes here. I've got these two sheets of paper. I got a backside to it. I've got this notebook. I was writing this on my notes app, and I just decided, I'd print it out. And then I have like other stuff I want to show you guys. But I thought I'd just start recording because, what's the point of letting the anxiety consume you more? You gotta go straight to the source of it. Fuck. It's been a hell of a couple days, and I am feeling pretty good. What I'm worried about is doing this and feeling like my ego starts swelling up, that other people start seeing me for what I do, the accomplishments I've done, the growth that I've had, rather than embracing my authenticity or just doing things that for myself, like doing things that I enjoy and being able to find myself through that. But I do think this is a meaningful thing, and so I'm going to continue doing it and see what happens. If shit goes sideways, then I'll probably change it up, do something else. But I don't think it will, and I've been enjoying it, and I think it helps me learn to be more present in the moment. This will help me. This helps me learn to be more present in the moment. So I appreciate that. I've been listening to Maroon 5 recently. I didn't listen to it before because I thought, I kind of felt like it was like I like their songs, but a lot of them are just about love. And I thought they were cringy before. I thought they were basic. I don't know if they're going to be my favorite artist, but so far they kind of are. They're kind of hitting. Like, I want to pay for trying to call you down. The thing about Spotify is it doesn't let you, these podcasts don't let you, because it's copyrighted, play music. I think some people do. I'm going to see if it works, and hopefully Spotify doesn't take it down. But I'm going to just pregame real quick. I'm going to just pregame this. Try to go home on you. Where the time's gone, baby, it's all wrong. Where are the plans we made for two? Gosh, what a good song. I just wanted to sing it to be more confident, to get more confident, feel more confident. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's hard to remember the people you used to. I'm at a payphone trying to call home. All of my change I spent on you. Where have the times gone, baby? It's all wrong. Where are the plans we made for two? All right. I should probably get into it. This episode is called "Is It Bad to Be Chopped?" because I've been pondering the question of whether or not my appearance and my anxiety over how I look is something that other people considered, and whether or not it's a bad thing to be chopped, which means it's code for unattractive or ugly. And I don't think I'm a horribly unattractive guy, but I don't feel great about how I look. And it's also mixed with the fact that I've got this I've got these health problems, and when your health is bad, you just feel kind of shitty, and then you don't, and it probably affects how your skin is, probably affects how much energy you have, and that makes you look more chop. Anyhow, I have all these notes. This is completely different from the other episode because I did an episode with Kyra that changed me a little. I've thought some things through, and I have all these notes, so I don't know if it's gonna be better or not. Honestly, I'm just gonna try to focus on being myself, being present, because there's so much fucking stuff that I learned over these past couple of days that, like, trying new things. It's like being quirky isn't necessarily being yourself. If you're part of yourself, then yeah, but it's also trying new things at this stage in life. Yeah, but I want to read a yearbook message. Also, shout out to Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker, because their podcast is so funny. Their podcast has inspired me in some capacity to think about what comedy is, what being funny is, how do you cultivate that? And I just think being funny is like one of the coolest things. Anyways, I'm seriously yapping. How much time has it been? I'm just gonna start and try not to stop because the outside world is more interesting than the inside world, as Kyber put it for him, and I think that applies to me too. Well, I did this in the blooper, yes, last night. Today it's 1:10 p.m. So it's so no one's home. I don't need to be quiet. Jonathan's not sleeping. But I read this last night and I want to read it again because it's sick. The first paragraphs of Self-Reliance. No, hold on. Part of what I'm saying is that a large part of learning is through experience and not instruction. The first paragraphs of Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson talk about the importance of having the courage to create your own thoughts and evaluations of yourself, and what goes on around you rather than turning to someone else and having them explain it for you. I guess I'm kind of saying to trust yourself. Because try as you might, though you might find people who can put your experience into words better than you can, there will almost never be someone who understands what it's like to be you better than you do. You have the gift of living in yourself, of having your own thoughts and conducting your own actions, so don't waste it just looking for other people to tell you how to understand yourself. Be curious, be honest with yourself, be brave, and never forget that I am here for you. But look to yourself before you look to anyone else. Quote, Kyber McFarland. So yeah, we were recording a podcast the other day, and I was like, Infinity Stones aura, because he just said something that really described how he is and that kind of comfort that he radiates, the sense of self where you're not in your head, and that's something that creates a lot of fucking anxiety, and it's pretty annoying. But he said, he said on the podcast, why can't you just be human? Like, you think you're weird, you think you're quirky, as I was trying to express on my previous podcast, but why not just be you? And it's like almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy if you're saying that being quirky, being different, or trying to, stand out is what being authentic means. Like, why not try being normal? And I think that's a really good point. Because cause, cause how else are you going to do it? How else are you going to live life? I'm always trying to feel like I'm in a different person's body, or I'm projecting some version of someone else. And I don't think that's necessary. I might need to take a nap. I think I'll take a nap because I'm looking a little tired. I also got to push through this because I have so much. Maybe taking notes was not a good idea because sometimes when I yab, that's when this flow starts coming. That's when the goop starts coming. Uh, so I'm gonna go take a nap actually, and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I got a drink with me because it's getting a little thirsty. Turn this on. I don't know if I should be drinking these drinks. They are like zero sugar sodas that I saw Truett Haynes drinking. He's like this. It's kind of like David Goggins, but he was drinking it. And I was like, maybe I should try to get these at Sprouts. So I got them, but now I have these like zits on my face. I have like one here, and one here, like one that was about to grow on the side of my face in the morning, and like my forehead kind of itches. There's some bumps there. If you can't see, so I don't know if it's because I was eating out like over the weekend because graduation and celebratory occasions, or if it's the Zevia. But this is the last one. I had like 5 other ones. I had 4.5 because Jonathan had half. Um, and it's weird because it doesn't actually taste too addicting. Like I drink, it's like wow, that's sweet. It's the same thing as sugar, and it does kind of taste like root beer, which is nice. But it's it doesn't make me want to drink more. Like I can pour out half of this and then drink the rest, honestly. But I'll just keep it here for the rest of this session and see how it goes. The reason I was singing because something about singing makes you just kind of be in the moment. And I like maybe it's because I like singing. I'm at baby, you're a firework. Come on, What are the lyrics for fireworks? Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin? Like a house of cards won't blow from caving in. Do you ever feel already buried deep? 6 feet on the nose, you don't see everything. Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine just on the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what. Fuck. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Okay, hopefully Spotify doesn't copyright that. But I like that song. Shout out Maggie. She said she liked Katy Perry, so I decided to hop on and see what's up. See what was up. Okay, I'm just gonna jump right into it because I have a lot to cover. And I hope that I'm not taking super long pauses, and I hope that it isn't boring or inauthentic. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stop thinking myself as inauthentic because the more that I do that, the more that I feel that way, and the more I'm not just doing whatever comes into my head. I was thinking about this concept earlier, which is if you know Shane Gillis, he has been called out for making some weird jokes. Not weird jokes, jokes that have, maybe crossed the line about black people or the LGBTQ community and stuff. But if you know him and you really hear him on his podcast, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's just trying to be funny. And as a comedian, he put out a statement that was like, you know, uh, I take risks as a joke. I never have the intention of trying to hurt anyone or make anyone, put down anyone. But my creativity requires me to take risks, and so I do it. And I was just thinking about this because I know people who are gay, and I know, and I like them. I really do, um, and I don't have anything against gay people, but I was just thinking about like making this joke about saying like, is this too gay? Like I forgot what I was even thinking about, and uh, and I feel like if you're gay and, and you're insecure, then that's offensive. Like you'll come off as, like, oh, stop trying to put down or make us different, make us like a different group. Which is fair, but I I'm required in order to be funny. I think you're required to say what's on your mind, and I think you should say things with the assumption that other people are secure. Because if you are secure and you're gay, and someone says that, like, nothing against gay people, it's just like an observation about like your clothes or your appearance, like being different. It's like when you point out the difference between a monkey and a chimpanzee, um, like there's nothing wrong with being a monkey. There's nothing wrong with being a chimpanzee. Just I'm just pointing out a difference for comedic purposes, right? I mean, so like those things are the things that I worry about on a daily basis. Like I was at Sprouts the other day and I saw this. I wanted to ask about where. I wanted to ask a question like where's the rub? I was trying to find like steak rub, I think, and there was like a Mexican worker, like a skinny Mexican dude, like doing watermelons or something in the fruit section, and I walked by him. I was about to ask him. I was like, dude, if I ask him, then I'm gonna come across as if I disrespect Mexican people because I think like they work for me, like they're immigrants and shit. So, um, I think that's fucked up on my part. Like I should have just asked it. Like, and if really it comes across and they get defensive about it, like fuck them because that dude, I wasn't trying to do that. It's like not actually fuck you, but like you go ahead and fuck everybody else if you're being if you're being yourself and you're being polite. So yeah, that's a thought I had. Pretty cool, right? Um, yeah, I'm just gonna take off my shirt because I feel like it makes me be more free. All right, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about, is it bad to be chopped? So I talked about projection a little bit. I think a large part of being chopped is this notion that I can't, other people can't, I can't be liked as much as I'd like to be. Like, people aren't going to find me as attractive as I wish them to find me attractive. Like, I was looking at my yearbook picture in the yearbook, and I think I was thinking, like, I want to be authentic when I took that yearbook picture. I remember, and I brought my retainers. I put retainers on. Like, and I don't have retainers on. Um, and obviously, you look worse with retainers on because there's like a big wire here, and there's like two black things, which are like the supports on the retainer. And I wore that in the yearbook picture, which is to try to be authentic, which is stupid because I kind of like that made me look ugly. And not just that, I also wasn't positioned right. So I think I came across as chopped. And it made me feel insecure. But I just think it's such a concerning topic because, like, I was talking to Lexi and Katie, and they were talking about body image and just to transition to being able to accept yourself and not worry about how you look. And both of them, they're both really attractive people, and it scared me how like even they considered how they look to be something that worries them and gives them anxiety. And like you talk about me, like I'm not that good looking. Like I'm over here like I don't know, chopping up on a daily basis, man. Like, and I said that I don't have body image issues. I say that on a conscious level I don't really care about how I look. But I do care about how I look, and I want to look attractive. And I want to be attractive, I guess for mating purposes, sexually, but also just, I mean, to feel good, to look at myself in the mirror and be like, hey, you look healthy. And I guess you can't change yourself that much because really genetics play a large part in how you look. But, um, okay, I'm just gonna look at my notes now because I think if I don't look at my notes, I'm never gonna finish this. So I'm gonna look at my notes now. Uh, so the first thing I wrote was projection versus I'm chopped. A lot of times, my insecurity about myself, like with a Mexican worker or when I interact with people or say hi, is like how I would maybe feel like if I was a Mexican dude and like I felt insecure and someone asked me like that, I might get like feel more insecure. I don't want to put that on other people. And so I project my own insecurity on them. And so then I don't engage in interaction in the way that I think it's normal to as humans. Consequently, I feel more chopped. Because sometimes I know people who are chopped and they're, no, I don't want to say that in a mean way, but they're confident and that makes them so much more attractive. Like the chop part doesn't even matter that much anymore. Like if you're able to be like that, like then it blurs the lines between whether or not being chopped and being confident and attractive is even like two different things, because then you start seeing them as attractive and it's like, whoa, their face looks good in this way. But even though like, but if you're fucking like embarrassing awkward like me and just like going like this and like looking down and doing everything I can to put myself down, then you start thinking of that person as unattractive. And I see this a lot, and it really bugs me. So I think that this is something that I'm working on right now toward being the most confident version of myself I can, but accepting that there's going to be discomfort with that. Fuck, okay, I got it. That's something I probably wrote in my notes. So I'm just going to actually go into my notes now. Um, What do chopped people do? Parentheses, cry emoji, parentheses. They should look smacks. How do you look smacks? I don't think that's very helpful. You should hit the gym. You should feed your soul. Be more happy. Do things that you enjoy. I think those things are helpful to becoming a more secure version of yourself and to embrace every bit of you in your choppedness. Because choppedness is subjective. Like, it's not subjective. But honestly, you got to work on yourself, and that's more important than how you look. Why is being chopped such a disturbing thing? And it fascinates me because evolutionarily, we have men are attracted to women with wider hips and larger, I think, larger asses because it signals fecundity and like good breasts. So it makes sense. But then when it comes to your face, which is really what I'm talking about mostly, like your facial features, like how you look. Like on the side, I feel like here, let me take my camera. Like on the side, I feel like my cheeks are kind of swollen, which makes me look unattractive. And I just think like that stuff you can't change. Like, can you change that? But what makes it such that you I searched this up on Google. So what Google said, well, what makes it such that you people are less attracted to you, like the opposite gender is less attracted to you if you have those rounder cheeks, like on the side, and it doesn't look as good, right? It's not like I have an okay jawline here, but if you look on the side, it looks kind of weird, right? What makes it such that women are less attracted to you because of that? Like, does it signal something about your health? And what Google said is that if you had a good development from childhood or in the womb, then you have more symmetrical face features. Okay, so that means you're healthier. Okay, so that means people who are chopped are less healthy? Huh. I'm pretty darn unhealthy. Or I've had all these health problems since I was a kid, so I do kind of feel that way. But I also feel like people who are also have I've reason to suspect that people who are chopped are health. There are people who are healthy, and so it just confuses me. Um, this is all under the assumption of my own perspectives about people's attractiveness, and I don't think, and no, nothing against people who are unattractive. To me, I think that that's a. I think that there will be people who think you're attractive, and, and that's not that important. Okay, I would like if someone thought I was unattractive to say that to me, and I do believe that. Um. So yeah, I I put my sympathy and empathy to all the chop people out there. I'm with you, man. I'm not man, just man. Like not man meaning man, just like anyone. Um, huh. So I was wondering about this thing about why do people want to have sex, especially as a teenager when your hormones start going like I talked about this in the last episode. Like you really, really want to have sex. It's kind of something that's on your mind like all the time. And maybe it was just my mind. And I think that there are other tribes. So I've talked to someone who has described like, like I don't want to date right now. I think it's right to date, or there's not anyone to date right now. But it's not like he doesn't want to have sex. He really wants to have sex too, and I think when you are able to do other things that feed your soul, then you don't. Sex is like an important drive, but it doesn't need to consume you. Something I'm wondering is, will you be any less happier if you only do it once? Like once you do it in marriage? Because about the whole thing with you're bonded to someone once you have sex with them, like chemically bonded, that it puts like rose tinted glasses on in front of your eyes. Does is that a bad thing to have sex? And I personally think that, like, I do think that having sex before marriage might affect your judgment. But is it possible to do that? Like, why do people want to fuck? I guess I'll have to figure out myself when I go into dating and relationships more thoroughly. Like, is it because you're trying to cope with something? Is it because you have other problems in your life that you want to deal with through this? Is it because it's genuinely hardwired into you, or you have beliefs about what sex can do for you? I wrote down it's mostly, and I think just starting your health and secure human to go. Sorry about the fact that I'm pausing so much. I'm trying to get through all this. Trying to try new things and be myself. I feel like it does require some pausing because I don't want to start saying stuff that I don't believe. Yeah. You ever see Theo Vaughn? Him doing a solo episode. He likes to do this thing where he like takes a breath and just stares somewhere, or like he laughs by himself. I think that's pretty authentic. I think he's doing what he likes to do in the moment instead of like focusing on what other people want him to do. He probably has some consideration of that, as humor would require, but it doesn't consume him. Maybe I'm just doing this for myself. Like, if you're watching this, like, I'm seriously fucking pausing a lot. Maybe I'm just doing this for myself. Like, so I know that I have a video of myself where I have my shirt off and I'm pausing like hella and sipping on this zero sugar soda and saying the stuff that comes to my mind on the internet. So, fuck you. Like, can't mess with me now. Maybe that's what I'm doing, but I also hope that I can convey a helpful message to anyone who needs to hear this. I don't want to swell my. I don't want to swell my. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick, but I don't want to swell my ego. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to be like. This makes me all big and stuff. Like, one of the scariest things is if I just fell into what Justin Bieber fell into with being all popular and stuff, or people like him and stuff through his music, and then he just fell into a deep hole of like himself. He probably like had a crisis. And I guess if people don't really see you for who you are, podcasting is better because you really just are you, and people got to see that for like a long term version of you. So it's better. Yeah, that's why I like podcasting. But Justin Bieber situation, like really, that shit's pretty crappy, and you get all all mean, I think, and being famous is being famous fucks you up. I it's hard to be famous and be grounded too, because it's just like this force. There's this almost, I don't know how to describe it, force that's making your ego swell up. That's making you objectively feel better than other people or other things. I'm gonna go use the restroom and come back. All right. As I was peeing, I was thinking like, what if I just sang a song like from start to finish that I liked, and I wonder if Spotify would take that down. Like would Spotify think I was actually copywriting a song? Like I don't know if that's part of the rules and stuff. Uh, because that would make me feel really sexy. That was my thought. I'm gonna say in the discomfort of that a little. Okay, where was I at? I was talking about Kyber. No, I was talking about being chopped. I'm just gonna skip the chop topic for a little bit and go back to it because I feel like I've covered my confusion about it mostly. It's just really random. I suppose it's not something that you really need to consider, but might want to bring up with others to patch your insecurity. I don't know. Anyways, I was talking about Kyber, and so there's this girl who wrote this article in her school magazine that Kyber recommended me read. So I read it, and man, I think I want to try this. She said, in my early years of middle school, I relied on the opinions of others to guide my taste in television shows, music, and clothes. Though my khaki pants and Parker polos somewhat masked my lack of confidence, my belief that my personality was not enough for others made me feel isolated from those who mattered the most to me. In retrospect, that idea seemed downright absurd and frankly upsetting. Yeah, this detrimental headspace was created from imaginary problems. Loved ones surrounded me, but I could not rely on them to fill the gaping hole in my self-esteem. I was ignorantly unaware that the only disconnect was within myself. I lived within constant self-doubt until I began to realize my insecurity existed within a bubble of my own making. I resorted to a new method of gaining confidence by declaring that I had total trust in my self-worth and disregarded any self-judgment. I lived each day as if I were the funniest, most interesting, and most lovable person alive. Deep down, I knew this egotistical declaration was not entirely true. A truly perfect person does not exist, but I understood this drastic approach was necessary to elevate my self-esteem. I aimed for perfection so I could land on comfort. Whenever doubts crept in about whether friends wanted to spend time with me, I shifted my thinking to how excited I was to see them. Why wouldn't they feel the same way about me? By the end of middle school, I had successfully tricked myself into raising my self-esteem, baby. A mindset which has stuck with me since and will continue with me into the next chapters of my life. Wow. If you're watching this, that was a great article. And honestly, it really hits home for me. I do think that I have familial issues tied up into it, where my anxiety and my inability to feel like I can be loved is present at home. But it also doesn't detract from how I present myself or how I am choose to think of myself outside of home. And being that way at home is also helpful too. Not just helpful, like it can change myself. So I'm gonna start trying doing that, guys. What I think that means is that you gotta try new things. Like, she kicked it by the end of middle school. I'm over here senior year. It's the end of senior year. It's already over. I'm over here standing in front of a camera with my shirt off, trying to find that. And I honestly think that it's not that hard. Like, it's really just being normal, like Kyber was saying, and sitting with the discomfort of that, perhaps, and being like, hey, man, this might feel different, but it's okay. What's so cool about her is that, like, I know this article isn't fake. I never had a class with her, but I've interacted with her at school. One time she wrote an article in a previous issue in the magazine, in her school's magazine, about the value of finding a summer job. And I was trying to find a job a month ago. I haven't found a job still because I've been lazy. But anyways, I wanted to find a job, and I wanted to ask her, like, do you need to make your resume such that it matches the job you're applying for? And I wanted to ask her that. So it also was attracted to her. So I still am attracted, like, someone who's that confident, like someone who is, you feel that, like, that they radiate that kind of confidence. Like, how can you not be attracted to them? And if you think they're physically attractive, then it doesn't help at all to not be attracted to them. Anyways, guys. So I was also trying to practice talking to girls. So a month ago, was probably like 2 months ago even, and I went up to her in the parking lot and I said, hey, blank, I'm trying to learn how to talk to girls. But I also had a genuine question. She said, yeah. And I said, so, like, with the resume and stuff, do you need to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I said it in a nervous way. And she told me, like, no, it's fine. You can just I just did my school resume. That's what you need to do. Just like your extracurricular activities and stuff. And I said, okay. And I just, like, turned around trying to look nonchalant and went back and started walking back to my car. And literally what she said the next moment was, like, the epitome of, like, the epitome of what it feels like to be comfortable in your own skin. She said, with, like, a boogie sign, she said, like, good luck, bro. She didn't, no, she said, good luck, bro. She didn't say that. Okay, I can't say it the way that she said it, but I'm just telling you, she said it in, like, the most casual, like, kind, loving way. Like, you got this. That's basically what she was saying to me. And it wasn't fake at all. Like, fuck you, dude, because you're so good. I think she said good luck, dude, too. It wasn't good luck, bro. It was good luck, dude. And I was like, oh, my Lord, bro. Anyways, that was cringy. I was trying not to be creepy when I said, I'm trying to learn how to talk to girls. I wonder if she even caught that. I wonder if she even thinks about that. But, so, yeah. This idea of being able to realize your confidence, I think, comes from believing that you are the most funny, you're the funniest, I live each day as if you're the funniest, most interesting, and most lovable person alive. And who knows what that looks like. But as Kyber was saying, you gotta figure that out. And that's really beautiful. It doesn't mean being quirky necessarily. Although I do think I like being a little quirky. as a humor thing, to be funny. But it's like trying on new shoes. Try it on, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you try on a different pair of shoes in different ways. That's what my therapist told me. That's really what it is. It's, gosh, I have all these notes to go over. I feel like I'm going to be repetitive, but I'm just going to say that. It's like trying on new shoes. And at this stage in life, as a teenager, especially like what Erickson talks about in his like 9 stages of life or something, it's like this stage is like we're trying to figure out who we are. And you're not defined by your past version of yourself. You're not defined by all the awkward pauses, all the weird things you said to other people, all the fucked up shit you did, all the screaming matches you had with your parents. It's not you. That's not you. Those are things you did, but it's not necessarily you. Those are thoughts you had, actions you took, but that's not necessarily you. You got to find you by trying things that bring you joy, that feed your soul, that fucking make you jack off internally because it's so good. It feels so true to you. And my therapist gave the example of how he used to wear these blue shoelaces so other people would point them out and be like, hey man, you got blue shoes? I like them. And then he would be like, yeah, do you like them? And then they would start a conversation from there, or like go start talking. And that would be part of his identity because he liked those blue shoelaces. I'm not sure if they were blue. I think blue was the color. And he's like, you just gotta do things that you gotta try things. And Simon Sinek said this too. Once you try those things, and if someone asks you like why do you have blue shoelaces, and you say, I don't know, because I like them, and then you move on. And hopefully you do really like them, and then you do things in life that bring you those things. You interact in ways that bring you joy and a sense of belonging or sense of truth, a sense of self and authenticity in the world. And I think as I'm doing this podcast, as I'm presenting myself in the way that I am right now, I am trying to do that. It's pretty nerve-wracking because you got to just kind of throw out the belief, that belief of you're fucked up. You're not like that. You never done that before. I don't know if you're trying to be different. You're in the thing. You got to throw that shit out the fucking window, man. You got to fucking say goodbye, man. Not to say that you can't take it back and try it on again, but just saying like it's gonna be pretty fucking uncomfortable. So uncomfortable that you start saying fucking a bunch of times like me right now. So another observation I made was that people might not get you. That's what it's meant by like you might lose some friends in in the lonely chapter in the lonely chapter of change. People might not get you, and those people don't get you, then they shouldn't be. It wouldn't be good to be friends with them because they don't get you. There will be people who do get you though, like your true friends. Uh, yeah, Shane Gillis had like a joke, that must have brought some sort of anxiety. Like he said something, and he was about to go on SNL, and then they canceled him because he said that. And his parents watched SNL. He wanted to go on SNL. It was a dream. He never thought it would ever happen, but he was going to do it, and they canceled him. That must have been fucking upsetting. But he's put that statement out on Twitter after, and he said, "You got to push boundaries with comedy. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I don't have any bad intentions." And that's the shit, dude. All this carbonated zero sugar soda is making me burp. Okay. a lot to get through. Maybe I'll start with these papers and I'll keep on going. Like, I hope it doesn't sound like a lecture. I hope it sounds natural, but it might not sound natural because I wrote it down in notes and my thoughts previously don't match up with my thoughts right now in the order that they come, or the passion that comes with them, or the curiosity about them. So I apologize in advance if that's what you feel. So who do you want to be? How do you know? How do you know who you want to be? That's the question I was asking myself. Like, now I've realized that, you being the most cool version of yourself, the version that you want to be, is actually part of this growth, this inner growth toward finding your personality, finding who you are, and trying things. The question is, if we all had that thought, then wouldn't we all want to be that person, like the perfect person? I'm kind of exploring here, so bear with me, stick with me if you want. Wouldn't we all be the same person? And the answer is, I don't think so, because we all probably have some version of ourselves that we want to be, and we're all different. That version, and every single person's version of themselves is probably good, because we might have a soul. We didn't get into that on the Kyber episode, but we might have a soul. But how do you know, right? Like, how do you know? And this is basically what my therapist said. Try new things. Try different things. Wear blue shoelaces. Get those pants that you've been wanting to get, or you think you kind of like. Wear the clothes that, think fit you. Talk to new people because you want to talk to those new people. Say hi. Push your boundaries. Go talk to girls. Do things that bring you out of your comfort zone. But maybe you will like, because those things are things that eventually I think you will know. You do know, right? Like, this is who I want to be. And a part of that, in my lesson this year, of when I asked that girl, what are your thoughts on masturbation? And one of my friends basically ghosted me, is that, there also are, standards that you might want to follow just for good precaution, good reason. And like having a filter, being polite and saying stuff, not being completely blunt. You should always be honest, but you don't need to be completely blunt about things. As Katie and Lexi observed at the end of our episode, you can be weird, which I definitely was last video, but try your best not to come across as offensive, scary, creepy. Like, I think in a boy's mind, like, it would be the most blunt thing and probably honest thing to be like, I want to fuck you, to a girl that you're really attracted to. But you probably shouldn't say that, because that's going to be creepy and that's going to make her not want to associate herself with you and run away. It's not immoral, I don't think, but you're harming your own social interactions by, not considering what other people would perceive or how it would come off to someone else. And so I do think that's a good point, man. Just being polite and, not being completely blunt, which before I kind of associated being blunt with being honest, which isn't necessarily the case. No, it is the case, but you shouldn't do that. But you should always not be afraid to upset someone with your truth. Because if those words are something that you need to convey, that you must convey, then you should do it. To stay grounded, to not abandon yourself. And I think that trying new things and going out of your way to do things that are weird, that are different, that not for you, that are normal for you, that are fundamentally normal for you, that might be different. I think what I mean by weird or different is being weird or different from societal conventions or standards, like rejecting those societal standards and sticking to yourself, your sense of your values, your authenticity, whatever it is. I think doing that, eventually you'll find a better balance and more awareness of how other people respond to it and receive it, and tweak yourself to be able to do that. What I was so scared of in middle school and high school was, I want to be authentic. How do I, do what I've been doing and like stick to it? But that's not like upsetting someone or doing something that they're caught off guard with is not necessarily being inauthentic. It's actually you trying to find who you are, and hopefully they accept you. And if they do, that's fucking great, because now they know the real version of, now they know the real you in some sense, or they know a you that is more happy, that is more true to themselves, that is more, that enjoys life more, Yeah. I was looking at my eggs yesterday morning as I was eating them, and my dad had made this Japanese yam. They're like white, they're like sticks, and you chop them up. And there was one on a plate on the table, and my parents had all, I think they ran yesterday morning and got home at like 11 or 10. Parents weren't home. I was thinking whether I should eat this or not. There's some, I just ran, I need some carbs. The primary source of carbs I get, especially in the morning, is from fruits. Like I eat a banana, maybe have some honey on it. I'll eat an apple or an orange, or I love eating mangoes. I just been fucking eating mango for the past 2 months, like nearly every single day. And I'll eat a mango, but in what, with yams, sweet potatoes, like those carbs are, I don't know, something about that makes them more sus. Um, they don't have as many nutrients, I guess, some of them. But this Japanese yam was, I think yam and sweet potato was good. And I was like, I'll just have some. It's fine. And it wasn't, if you have carbs in the morning and you didn't do any exercise and you're not like insulin sensitive, then that might make you tired later on, because it's going to enter your bloodstream. You're not going to be absorbing the glucose to use for your muscles because your muscles haven't been used. And so I knew that. And I know what the balance of carbs and protein was. I had 4 eggs, plenty of protein is good. I feel fucking good knowing all that stuff. And I had some pineapple yesterday too. And I was basically figuring out like how much carbs. And it was intuitive. I wasn't really thinking so much. So in my head always about this. But at the beginning, it was really in my head. I had to research this. I had to search this stuff up on Google. I had to listen to podcasts. I had to talk to York. I watched Santa Cruz Medicinals. You guys should all watch Santa Cruz Medicinal. He has some great health advice. Paul Saladino. And like learning like what is good. And not to say that I'm a perfectly healthy person. I have an eating disorder. Sometimes I'm pretty irresponsible with my basic self-care in terms of food. But I know what's good for me now, and which is great. Mostly I know what's good for me, and I've done it, and I've for periods of time, and it feels good. But all this to say, before, in the process of learning, I felt discomfort. Like I felt like fuck. It pissed me off, the lack of presence I had while I was eating, because I was thinking about what I was eating, whether it was good for me or not. And it was this irritation off of the fact that I didn't know everything. And so I was going to inevitably, in these days where I'm trying to figure things out, I don't know everything. I don't know how I work. I don't know how my body's going to respond to this food or that food, or whether I can go to bed now or if I should go to bed later, because if I go to bed now, then I might not be able to fall asleep. So all of this, before I was just learning. And it's kind of frustrating. It might feel like psychological suffering as that you put on yourself in this process of being like, I don't feel like the most authentic version of myself yet. I don't feel that comfort that I think this girl radiates or this guy radiates that I want. But I think what Sam Harris said on the Joe Rogan podcast, there's a clip about it. I think you can like search it up. It's about psychological suffering and pain. Is that pain is real. Your body feels pain. When you cut yourself, you feel pain. That's like actual pain. It isn't a thought about it that creates the pain. Your body that creates the pain and then creates psychological suffering. Suffering and pain are different, I think. Suffering, for the sake of simplicity, for the sake of clarity, should I say, is what happens when you create thoughts about something, create a frame or an idea about something, and that's what suffering is, usually. And maybe there's pain involved as well, physical pain, but oftentimes it's amplified by the psychological suffering you put on yourself. You avoid psychological suffering. You can't avoid psychological suffering because they're just thoughts about you, and you don't need to connect those thoughts to you as you. You don't see those thoughts as who you fundamentally are as a person, your identity, your real self. That's not necessarily you. And great example of this is Anna Lemke in her book Dopamine Nation. Great book. It's very interesting. You probably know a lot about dopamine already, but if you read that book, it's just fun reading because there's also some other things that are in it that they're just interesting. This guy with this masturbation machine that he is fucking addicted to, and he has a wife and his kids, and he's working with Anna Lemke about how to figure out how to not be so stimulated all the time by that thing, and he takes it apart. But she has this example in her book where she said when she first had her child, she loved her child, she cared about her child a lot, and like mothers do. But she had these thoughts, these very disturbing thoughts. She would want to take her child when she was in the kitchen, and like she had the thought of like smashing her child's head on the tabletop and just like cracking it open, like destroying the baby, you know. That's fucking messed up. But no, a lot of moms have that actually, and I think she talked to her husband about it. Maybe her husband also had that too. Basically, she learned like through talking to other people, like that's a thought that other people had too, and they were scared of it too. And she was scared because she thought that that was fundamentally herself. But you need to realize that your thoughts aren't yourself. You are probably something different from those negative thoughts you have about yourself. There's thoughts that, you know, like this would make me a fucking asshole. This would make me a pedophile. This would make me a pussy. All those thoughts, they don't need to be you. I mean, maybe if you want to go down that route, you know, go see what's down there. But, you know, you don't smash your child's brain on the table because that's not what you want to do. That's not what you like. That's not what you enjoy. Not even in the lens of liking and enjoying. Like, I think you fundamentally know that that's not who you want to be, what you want, right? And so I think we need to start detaching that psychological suffering, those thoughts we have about ourselves. Like, I'm always going to be this way. People are always not going to be able to like me. I was sitting in the library in junior year. All the time I was thinking, you know, I guess this is how it is, you know. I guess like, you know, maybe I'm different than other people. Maybe I'm exceptional. I'm just going to be here and like work on my work and not go eat lunch with people, which 99% of people were doing. Other people in the library were only here for like a day. I was going to the library every single day during lunch to do work, to research for debate. Not to say that you can't do that, but if you don't want to do that, then why the fuck are you doing that, right? And I thought, like, I can't be inauthentic. This is me. Because I had thoughts about myself that that I'm gonna go into the library and I'm gonna study and shit. But it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go talk to people. Really, I wanted to express my humor. I wanted to be myself. Um, and I didn't do that. And so you need to really be able to realize that, you know, you're evolving. You might feel unreal right now as you're doing the thing that is the most lovable, uh, is the most lovable person alive, as the most funniest, the most interesting. You might feel unreal doing that right now. I kind of feel unreal doing that right now too. It's definitely there's some discomfort here. But I'm not going to impose psychological suffering on myself because I have those thoughts about myself that you're trying something different, that you're, shaking things up a little. I do have a little neck pain here. That's fucking biological pain. I'm going to try tilting this up, cover my mouth. I should probably go like this. Yeah. You might feel unreal right now, or your thoughts will tell you that maybe. It's uncomfortable, but you're doing it for yourself to become a more confident, loving, kind, funny, lovable, honest person. And if that's what it is, then those thoughts don't need to define you. It's okay to have them. It's normal. It's just normal. But some of you might be wondering, especially those of you who are people who are insecure and are trying to fill that hole of self-esteem in you, or other things, or self-worth or value in society and life through achievement and through hard work and through being exceptional. A lot of the people, Chris Williamson said this, who do exceptional things are often the people who have a pretty fucked up childhood, or who feel inadequate and they need to prove themselves to the world. So they go out and do that thing, do those things, create that business that is crazy and make a lot of money, become an exceptional actor, exceptional whatever it is. But they neglect those other parts of their life that, could bring them fulfillment, that especially relationships, I think, in my own perspective. And those people, I think, one advocate of that kind of life, you got to go and work your ass off, fucking put your head down on the grindstone and, eat that shit up. Get to the bottom of your, pain. Get to that shit. Well, David Goggins, one of the persons would be David Goggins. He says, stay hard, But what I think he means, and what I think the value he derives from that, from, running marathons, fucking pushing himself to his limits, doing thousands of pull-ups, is because I think it means the value he derives from it, what makes him the happiest person in doing that is the physical pain and not the psychological suffering. Because I've tried doing that. I've tried to fucking beat myself up. And I was asking myself the other day, why do you beat yourself up? And I thought about this for a while, and it's I guess because David Goggins says stay hard. But I'm doing it for no good reason. Sometimes there's a reason, but I don't think there's a good reason usually. But I think what you should plunge yourself into is the physical pain. There is literally physical pain when you walk into the ocean, especially in San Diego. It's cold. And I think a reason why a lot of people like going in the water, if you like surfing or boogie boarding, is because it gives you a high when you come out the ocean. There's a high because the pain you felt going into the water because it was so fucking cold that when you came out, your dopamine is just at a higher level. It's and it basically lowers the level for you to be able to feel pleasure, versus eating sugar, doing cocaine, that raises the level for you to be able to feel pleasure. So then when you do normal things in life, daily activities, those things are all so low. But when we walk out the ocean, I'm like fucking high for like 2 to 3 hours after I come out the ocean. That's why I love boogie boarding. And that's why I want to go surfing, among many of the other reasons I want to go surfing. And that's why I cold shower. And the pain, it's not easy, like walking to the cold shower. Like I think there's a physical pain. So psychological suffering, you don't need to pretend like, oh, this is suffering. Like this is, you just go in and accept the physical pain of it. Same thing with running. And I think you can also create a narrative about it, create an understanding about it that isn't fake, that isn't inauthentic. If you truly feel like these shoes are beginning to fit you, of like, I like doing this thing. I like lifting weights and going to the gym. I like taking notes about what and watching YouTube videos while I'm in a gym about how to lift with proper form. And it's not, and there's probably like some pain in lifting weights that are physical, but you don't need to impose unnecessary psychological suffering on yourself to do it. Sometimes physical pain is also psychological. I think like reframing it or seeing it as, I've hit the bottom, or this feels so good. Like shit, come at me, life, Sometimes you can make those psychological connections, as I was talking about, like reframing your perspective on it. Dude, what was I talking about? I was talking about like this period of change, the lonely chapter, the chapter where you feel unreal. You feel like you're not justified to come here. You feel like an imposter even. You feel inauthentic. I think there might be some physical pain associated with that, but the psychological suffering that you give yourself is something you shouldn't give yourself if you don't want it. Sam Harris gave this great example. Sorry if I'm yapping. I'm honestly yapping right now. Sam Harris gave this great example about how, if your shoulders are sore from deadlifting your max, you just deadlifted you just hit a max PR and your shoulders are all fucking sore, like you probably feel pretty good. Like, you probably feel pretty good. Versus if you have cancer in your shoulders, that's a different story. Like, obviously, like they feel the same on a physical level, but I think you are constantly consciously and unconsciously reframing who you are, and so you should be aware of it. That's what mindfulness is. I don't think that means, this is just an idea. I don't think it means completely going inward and not observing the outside world, but I think it's being aware of it. That doesn't necessarily mean becoming an overthinker, thinking about thinking, like that shit, which I'm so good at. I've been fucking practicing that since I was in third grade. Guys, let me tell you a story. I was in third grade. No, not a story. Just maybe it's a story. Since third grade, going to public school, like I realized like I really want to do my hair nice because that's what cool kids look like. I don't even know how I came up with this concept of cool kids. Because, when elementary schoolers, like when you're in middle school and you look back at elementary schools or like what they were wearing, like there's like, what are they wearing? They're like so scrawny and small and skinny. And like, I thought that fifth grader was cool. Like I'm in eighth grade now. I'm thinking like that fifth grader was cool, dude. But in third grade, I had like this concept of like fourth graders or fifth graders are wearing this. They had this Fitbit. They were wearing these like Nike shirts, like these Nike pants. And they look good in them. Like, and then once you get to high school, there's like, it's more developed versions, more specific versions of sexuality, I guess, of popularity too. People are jacked. People have our skin is tan, whatever it is. In third grade, my friend he did his hair and he was like, I think all the girls liked him, or a lot of the girls liked him, or he was attractive maybe. I didn't really have any concepts of sex at the time. I don't think I learned about sex until I was in like fourth grade or fifth grade, like you put your penis into it. Like I didn't know a woman has a hole and you stick your like wiener into the hole. Like, oh my God. Anyways, I saw my friend doing his hair and I was like, I gotta do my hair. And my hair is like flat. If you can't tell, like it's just really flat, not really thick at all. I don't know if you can really do much hairstyling with this. I might try to perm my hair over the summer. I'll see how that goes. Well, my mom was like, you should perm your hair. So like maybe I might try that. But basically, I can't like lift it up. Like when people have like different hair, like especially not Asians, especially like white people, like it like just stays that way. It's like, how is your hair like floating? Like my hair just like is flat. It's literally flat. And I wanted to make it go up. So I spiked it up. I sprayed it with like I sprayed it with like this hair gel thingy that made it like spike up. And I would spray like a bunch of that. It smelled weird too on my hair. It would stay like hard, like rock solid. I don't even know if other people are using that. Like it was some Chinese product or Japanese product that my grandma had that my mom had. So I was using it that she gave to me. And hold up, my mom's calling me. Speaking of the devil. So I'm back. My mom was saying that I forgot to take my pick up my brother, which I did forget. So I had to go do that, and now I'm back. Should I keep my shirt on or shirt off? I feel more confident with my shirt off, so shirt's going off, guys. Dude, some people are in high school, like it's incredible. Like I don't know if you're in SARMs or not, like, but still, like you gotta work out to be jacked, and like some people's biceps are like massive, like their chest is massive, like everything about them is massive. Like I think my biceps are pretty large right now, but if you like take my arm and like put it with someone in my grade who is big, they have like their arm is like this big. Like my arm looks big because I have a small arm. Like I'm 130 pounds right now, and so I don't think it's that big. It's definitely grown over the past couple of months. Shout out Liam, because I think I really got into the vibe when he got me onto a good split and encouraged me and gave me some advice. Anyways, what was I talking? I was talking about how from third grade through high school, I just felt like I didn't want to be inauthentic, or I was just so insecure, and physically I felt like I needed to do things to be not chopped. Not chopped. Like I wasn't thinking about my face. I was thinking about other things that eventually translate into me feeling chopped facially. In third grade, my friend did his hair. I wanted to do his hair. I sprayed my hair and walk around. And like as soon as it started going down, like dude, now I look at a picture of myself with my hair spiky, and I look chopped as hell, dude. Like I'm not even kidding. It did like the way that I felt like it looked, how good it looked, and the way that it looks to me now is it's ridiculously different. And well, I just felt like I wanted, like I needed to make it spiky, and it only looked good if I look spiky. Now, retrospectively, I think it looks kind of ugly. Ugly, not ugly, just weird. Like I'm a little kid, you can't be ugly. Uh, you're not thinking about that. But I would do that. I wanted to be popular, and I was shy. I remember like the first week of school, I was just sitting against the fence, like no one wanted. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't know what to say to anyone, and eventually, like I became friends with some people. But just third grade, fourth grade, fifth, sixth grade, seventh grade, the whole. I mean, it was just so much anxiety. Like I'm not necessarily surprised. It could be genetics, but I'm not necessarily surprised that I have like pre-diabetic numbers. And have all this inflammation. I've been having like gas and bloating for like the past 2 years, just eating normal food. Like I think that the amount of cortisol that I experienced from anxiety about how I looked probably contributed, and arguments with my family at home and just not understanding things with the way that my dad was, the way that my mom was, like everything, and they pushed me and all this stuff. The cortisol was enormous. Like I feel bad. Like I want to cry when I think about the cortisol that was not the cortisol, but all the moments of just like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and all I could feel was anxiety. And as a kid, I went to the like in third grade, I went to the bathroom like every couple hours to like put water in my hair so it would keep on sticking up. And water doesn't like it only last for so long and dries out. And I would go back and look at my thing and be like, oh, this is not good enough. Like, why are some people looking better than me? Why do some people look better than me? Like, this is not fair. But I was so in my head, and it wasn't. I didn't even have sex in the equation. I didn't even have dating, romance in that equation. I liked certain girls, but I didn't know what it was. I was kind of also related to social status and popularity too. So all that time it was all that time. Then eighth grade was a pandemic. Being on Zoom, even I was so self conscious. Ninth grade, 10th grade. Um, and I realized I was comparing myself to other people. So I stopped that. I wrote my comment app about that, like about how I learned to stop comparing myself with other people. But it was something deeper than that because after I learned, just after I stopped doing that, just comparing myself to other people, and like I still couldn't interact with them. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. Uh, Part of why I'm doing this. I also like doing it for other reasons. That's the main reason, I think. All of that to say, I think why some people, like this girl who wrote the article from in late middle school, and she started becoming that more confident version of herself, is because they didn't hold on to this belief that they were being inauthentic. They didn't hold on to some sort of moral idea of not being genuine, which I did, and I thought that, and it's also related to growth mindset. Like you think that you have a fixed identity, and honesty is sticking to that fixed identity. But my conception of fixed identity was all the past shit that I was behaving like, being, representing, feeling, thinking. And so it brought me down. And so I didn't change until I didn't realize it should probably start changing until like this year, like maybe even just the end of this year, genuinely. Or that it was something that you need to submit to the discomfort of, maybe not feel completely real first. Just because later on, when you do become a secure version of yourself, you won't have those status doesn't mean that you won't have them right now. Yeah, just because later on, when you do become a secure version of yourself, you won't have those thoughts, doesn't mean that you won't have them right now. That's the period of change. That's the period of growth and discomfort that I think we need to stop seeing as being fake versions of ourselves or inauthentic. Being a good person is defined by your actions / patterns / behaviors toward yourself and others, much more than it is defined by the negative thoughts you have by yourself. So go out there, be kind, type shit. And others, so don't be afraid of your fear. I think how you think will also change as well. I think the reason why I said like, just because later on when you do become a secure version of yourself, you won't have those thoughts, is because I think how you Because I think that when you behave like that and you choose to show up every day as the most lovable, funniest, interesting person, then your thoughts will change as well. Your thoughts will change as well, and you won't have that so much anxiety, about it as well as so constantly. Like another example, tangent off. I wrote this on my notes. Like I'm not thinking right now about am I going to go watch porn. Like I don't think about that anymore because this, which is not watching porn, is nicer than watching porn, or at least I believe that on an intuitive level now. Like I don't feel that drawing away, like that kind of, I don't like distraction that you get when you are watching porn, when you do watch porn, and during the day when you're thinking about whether or not to watch porn or not. Like it's not like so much better. Your life isn't happy when you stop watching porn, but it is a step toward being someone you like more, to loving yourself more. It's an act of self-love because you realize that I think that dopamine surge from porn, it's not just unrealistic and maybe not right, but also makes you it makes you really distracted. It makes you not really distracted. It makes you distracted. It's not good. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like not watching porn is neutral. Watching porn is like kind of negative. It just bugs you, just like slightly annoying. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. So now, like, don't want to jinx myself, but like at least for the past 122 days, I have not been watching porn. 120 something days, I have not been watching porn, and probably like 60, 70 days in, I just stopped thinking about it as much. I do think about masturbation with imagination, which is what I do now. If I want to jerk off, I want to goop, as Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker was talking about. Gooping, great thing. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that next. Not next, later on. But yeah, I don't feel like those thoughts before that I had about wanting to watch porn define me, and that's what helped me change. And so it applies in so many other ways, especially in social interaction. Gosh. Y'all see my lats? Okay, that was weird. Getting a little weird. I don't think I can. Let me see. Yeah, it's like windy outside, and there's like birds chirping, so I don't want to open the window. Might affect the sound. Jesus. What we should do when you start feeling those thoughts, am I being inauthentic? Am I being unreal? Is to calm yourself and to ground yourself in what you value or what you think to be good. And actually, I don't want to say the word authentic again, but yes, I want to grow. I want to be happy. So let's do it. You know, Kyber said the funniest thing last time, but he said, I like doing things that I like. Uh, yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's right. I was pondering yesterday as I was typing to my notes app the concept of, do we have a real self? Like, do we have a soul? Because if we are trying on new shoes and figuring things out, whether we like them or not, toward our identity, our personality, who we want to be, then who we like, isn't that predetermined thing? Is there like a real self that we are, through our free will, are aspiring to be? Honestly, I think there is, because once people have become these versions of themselves, everyone is different. Everyone's shaped by their experiences, by their genetics, by who they are. But fundamentally, I believe that everyone can be happy in their real selves. And so I don't see it a problem that we do have somewhat of predetermined self. That predetermined self is a journey we go on. And it's not boring. It's not idle. It's not fake. It's not unhappy. It's not meaningless. It's meaningful and uncertain, surprising, takes twists and turns. And we gotta go on it. I think we gotta go on it. As Sartre said, but I don't know if Sartre believed this, because he thinks that everything is free will. He thinks that you're just like, does he think everything's free will? I don't know. He believed that we create our future. We define everything. We create ourself. I don't know if he said we create ourselves, but I'm just assuming he did believe everything is free will. He called doing what is in line with your truth / your values, I don't know, accepting your anguish, abandonment, and despair. Like, hey man, you're not behaving that way because some force is controlling you, or that you were born that way, or God is making you do that. No, you're doing it because you are doing it. Not circular at all, but yeah, because that's what anguish, abandonment, and despair represents, the human condition of like the responsibility of taking responsibility for your own actions, that everything you do is a choice. It's your free will. That's what he called living in good faith. So, do we have a real self? I wrote, I don't know, I don't think so on my notes app, but I think we do somewhat. I wrote, we have inclinations, we have patterns, we have subjective likings and happiness. As I learned somewhat surprised yesterday by Kyber, not yesterday, 2 days ago by Kyber, we have beliefs maybe, but they all may be exploratory and subject to re-evaluation, I think, to become a more content version of ourselves. What I mean by saying content is like a sense of inner peace and the ability to approach and undergo and handle situations with less anxiety and more presence and happiness. And happiness, right? I guess happiness is part of it too. So I just finished these 3 papers and moving on. If anyone's listening still at this point, you're a real dog. DAWG. I like attention. I like when people see me. I like when people think I'm cool. When some people texted me about having listened to this episode, the first episode, and said, I really like that. I felt good in it. I don't think it's bad to want. I think it's bad. It's easy. It's kind of a blurry line. Like attention can turn into wanting to inflate your ego. But I also wrote all this stuff down. I don't want it to go to waste, and I do like talking about it. I like doing this. I like getting your fucking eyes on me, your attention's on me. So I'm gonna do it, and hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully I'm contributing to society. Hopefully I'm not just wasting my time. It's really easy to become unpresent when it comes to popularity or fame, or because really what I want is to become a more secure version of myself. But when I think about the first time when someone told me like one of the episodes became a little popular, like some people, I heard that people were listening to it. I was like, oh my god. And 2 people Maggie and Lauren emailed me, can I be on your podcast? We love listening to your podcast. Can we be on it? And I was just thinking yeah, I'm so cool and nonchalant. I was trying to be nonchalant about it and humble about it. But internally I was thinking oh my God, people are listening to my podcast. What if this girl's listening to my podcast? What if that guy's like, I'm walking around school like, has this person listened to my podcast? Like, are they looking at me a different way now? They think I'm cool? Like, there's, and then it kind of subsided. And now I have that again about doing my last podcast. And I don't want to have that. I don't want to be thinking about what I'm going to say on the podcast to sound. And I probably do have those thoughts, but having that second thought of like, I don't want to be thinking about how I sound, about what I say. Like this is going to be interesting if I say this. It's going to be funny if I say it. Like once you start doing that, like I'm not focused on doing whatever I'm doing in the moment. Like I took a nap earlier and like while I was laying in my bed, I couldn't help but kind of thinking like, what if I said this? I could say that. Dude, now I'm a little buzzed. I'm like buzzed from this creamy root beer. Like not actual alcohol buzz, but just like kind of like tired. I don't know if I'd be able to articulate myself as well, but it is what it is. Yeah, but the popularity thing about podcasting, about like doing things that people see you for, like I don't want it to become something that I use to like feed my dopamine cycle, to feed my ego, to become something that brings me, that instead of grounds me, takes me away from what I truly want or truly believe to be good. I wanted it to be a place for experimentation, as you might be able to tell, and a place to hopefully spread love and kindness and joy and humor. But all those things definitely, like, I'm just admitting to you the fact that, I've been having those thoughts. I've had those thoughts, and I think I need to be able to just be like, it's all good, man. You don't need to worry about how many people listen to your podcast. You don't need to be freaking tapping on Podbean to look on your analytics every other day or once you release a podcast episode. Like, if people listen to it, that's great, but you're doing this for yourself, man. You're doing this for yourself. And so don't abandon yourself. Don't forget who you are. All right, man. All right. I'm going to pause, take a break, because I honestly think I need one. This might have been a bad idea to drink this whole thing. Hey, man. I'm back. With my Tufts hoodie on. I went outside for a little. Hold on. All right, window closed. To get some fresh air. I don't know if it's like the natural flavors and the stevia or the tartaric acid. I don't know what that is inside of the Zevias that have gotten to me, or if there's not that much air right now, or if it's just afternoon. I'm feeling this way, but I feel kind of cooked. That's aside from the point. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about worrying over how this podcast will affect me and how putting myself on media like this will affect me. And I think the thing that really gets to me, that annoys me, that I'm going to get rid of, is the way that I think about how other people have thought about what I said, which creates anxiety. like if I said something cool or funny, I think about how thought have thought about how I said that, which was funny to them or authentic or true to them. And I'm like, yeah, positive reinforcement, like that's good. But then when you're constantly doing that, you're just so connected to the past. You're not living in the present. And it's harder to be, it's harder to be a more to develop that person that you want to become. But anyways, I think I'll be able to deal with that. I think I will be able to deal with that problem. Okay. So I was watching some YouTube videos last night, yesterday, about cold approaching, which was basically what I meant, what I was talking about with talking to girls in the last podcast episode. Jack Piggott, he is 19. He's not much older than me. He said he's going to cold approach 10 girls. So he does that in the video. What he does is he says, hey, I saw you over there. Not going to lie, I've walked by you. Not going to lie, I've walked by you a couple times. I think you're really attractive. How are you doing? Or, hi, what's your name? And he said that he did it to women who he's genuinely attracted to. That's sus. Because I wonder if I should do that too. I wonder if I should only go up to women who are genuinely attractive. I find genuinely attractive. I think that. And then I watched a couple more videos. I learned, oh, you can cold approach anyone. You should be able to go to the source of your anxiety, the thing that makes you put your head down, look at your phone, and feel anxious and wonder if they're thinking about you at school when you're walking by people, is what you should break. What you should. I think there might be some physical pain involved here of like, this shit is uncomfortable. They might not like me, and that's okay. To cold approach other people, when it comes to taking a romantic approach to women, I don't think I should. Yeah, I think it would be inauthentic for me to take a romantic approach to women. I don't find I'm romantically attracted to. But not to say that I can't see them as people who have value, whether it be social currency, whether it be their kindness or anything else, or just who they are as a person, because everyone is special. As someone's parents said in a yearbook quote to their daughter's yearbook. Anyways, everyone is special. So yeah, I think I can approach girls who I'm maybe not attracted to with a platonic attitude, with the attitude of getting to know them, of saying something nice about them. That's what another video talked about. It said like to cold approach, like you can go from an introvert to having social confidence, by saying things like "nice dog," "nice shoes," "hey, good afternoon," or just give nice compliments to people. Not necessarily just for yourself to become like less in your head, but also because once you do that, you choose to be kind and loving and show up that way for yourself and for other people, you eventually become that person. I think if you fap every day, then soon 1 year later, you're going to think that you are a fapper, even though it started off with one action. So, yeah, do it to be kind to other people, and people genuinely appreciate it. I think when someone says hi to me, I'm like, yo, bro, like I liked it internally, not externally. If I did that externally, I'd feel like prior, maybe I'd start doing that more now, but oh, thank you. I would feel nonchalant. I would feel like I would break my my coolness, my nonchalanceness, which is stupid, right? It's stupid. Or you can ask, like, do you know the directions? Like, and what you realize two things. You first realize no one cares. Like, no one gives a fuck. Some people might not even respond. Second thing is that you can do this. Like, the person who did this video said, fuck yeah, let's go. I'll put the links of the YouTube videos in there. You can go watch them if you want, especially if you're a guy. I think they're interesting. And yeah, no one cares. And you feel like, fuck yeah, let's go. Fuck yeah, let's go. And eventually becomes a normal thing. And it's beautiful. So my goal, I'm going to publicly declare this 1 hour and 45 minutes into the episode, is in the next 8 weeks, I'm going to be in San Diego. I think next 8 weeks, I'm going to approach 100 girls without any experience at the gym, at the beach, at UTC. It doesn't need to be like going on a full-blown conversation. It's just like just saying hi to them, or like pointing, giving them a compliment. And hopefully I'm going to do it with other people as well. Like, I'm going to do that with other people. I'm going to say it to old men, to old women, to middle school kid, actually middle school boys. Like, I don't know. Just everyone. I'm going to say hi to everyone. I'm going to try to get out there and break out of my self-imposed shell and be able to witness how I change. And I think that's something that, yeah, that's something that I want to do. Dylan McKnight. So he had this video where basically he had this video where he approached girls, and like, he was so good at bantering. It was like, he's like so funny too. But he said, it takes two to tango. If the other person's not feeling it, if the person don't want to talk, then. But honestly, it's not just you; it's the other person. It takes two to tango, and so give them the benefit of the doubt that they want to do it with you. They want to no innuendo intended there. They want to have a conversation with you, get to know you maybe, and to not be so serious, to banter. He talked to the 16-year-old girl, and he's like, "Oh shit, FBI is showing up. You have an evil side," he said to a girl. He said, "You have an evil side." Something I noticed about myself is like comedy. Sometimes you can pause to let whatever comedy it is take course. Instead of like laughing yourself to diffuse the comedy or diffuse the situation, or to start tapping your hand, start self-soothing. What I do is say, like, and you will probably notice this if you listen closely in the Kyber episode. I was self-imposing my awkwardness, which I don't want to be awkward. I want to be able to be the best version of myself I can be and around other people. But I was like making my words pause and dipping down, like stuff like that gave me a reason to think of myself as my identity as being, unable to be loved. But that's not true. You can, and accept the tension. There's some sexual tension there too. If it's you're talking with a girl, like, don't be afraid of it. Just sit with it. It takes two to tango. They need to say something too. If they don't say something, you can say something. If you're out of questions, if there's silence, like, ask them how their day has been, or give them a compliment while you're getting their Instagram. Oh, that's just something else. Yeah. Next 8 weeks, approaching girls, I decided to start using Instagram. I'm not going to start using it. I'm just going to have it open. Like, If I want to exchange Instagrams, I'll do. I honestly don't know if I'll be texting girl, if I'll be DMing them thing, but just so like I can do something at the end of an interaction, and maybe she's going to Berkeley. Maybe we're gonna hang out. Maybe we're gonna be best friends in the future. Maybe she's gonna be my future wife. Who knows? Uh, so yeah, it's the fucking shit. Um, Wait, yeah, I called it on my notes app the Summer 100. I made a new tab for that. So y'all, all all of y'all San Diego girls in UTC or at the beach, or uh, yeah, I don't want to say my gym name, so I don't expose my location. I suppose y'all won't see me coming. Y'all won't see me coming. Um, Yesterday actually, dude, this is seriously going really long. But yesterday I was. This was in the blooper. Right? I was at high school, and I saw this girl's. There's only the weird thing about if there's only one girl. It's like 6:30. It's not dark yet, but it's kind of cloudy. Is that like if you go up to her, even if she's your age, it's probably creepy, especially if like you're not even in the school. Like I don't go to that school, but I wanted to just like I was thinking about just talking to her, like like start doing this, start cold approaching girls. But I didn't want to come off as creepy, so I just wanted to practice saying something. So I was like, I'll ask her, "Excuse me, can I go? Can you tell me where the restroom is?" And as soon as I was walking over. I looked at her. She looked at me, and she had this. She like had this like a kind of like raised eyebrows look. She wasn't doing that to me. She just saw me and looked down back at her phone. And I kept on walking for like 3 seconds, and then her parents were coming to pick her up around the cul-de-sac where she was sitting. No one else was there, just like big block of cement she was sitting on. And I turned around and said, "Excuse me," and she's already walked into the car now. I'm like maybe 10, 20 feet away. "Excuse me." She doesn't look at me. She keeps on walking. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I feel like a pedophile right now. Like I feel so creepy, dude. But I guess it takes some of those interactions to learn when it is optimal to talk to girls. I mean, that was fine. I don't regret doing that. Hopefully, she didn't feel scared because I didn't approach her. I was literally wearing those. If you see my Instagram, I took a picture there of from my profile picture of me wearing like these funky graduation glasses. So like, hopefully, I didn't come off as a creep. I thought like, hopefully, I didn't come off as a creep. But if I did, then it's fine. Um, so that is one thing. Summer 100. Another thing is that I want to find a job. Time is ticking. I've been recording these podcasts. I've been thinking about life, trying to be myself, figure out who myself is. And I haven't found a job, but I know that if I find a job, I can socially meet and interact with new people. So please, someone hire me. I'm going to start like applying to jobs the next 2 days. Or I'm going to commit to something for volunteering to talk to people because that's another sort of thing, but I'd rather do a job. And yeah, you might be wondering, why am I doing these podcasts? Well, I wrote for myself because I can practice my comfortability, my presentness, feeling / enjoying the moment, not thinking about it, not saying likes, having dips in my sound, those kind of social excuses of body language that cause me to be more nervous or anxious when I'm not. No one deserves that. No one should ever. You should never be more. This is something I wrote, and now I'm feeling it. Now, now I affirm this very much, basically. No one should ever be morally obligated to relegate themselves. Like, you should never be morally obligated to say, or appear docile or be obsequious. Kyber, I figured out what that word means now. Appear obsequious. Or say like a bunch of times if you don't want to say it. That's fascinating. Okay, let's go to the back pages now. So, with Kyber during our podcast, I was like, a little frustrated and maybe irritated at myself for not embracing me. And that quote unquote me is someone who is funny, the most interesting, the most lovable person alive. That's not being fake. That's being brave. Because it's not mutually exclusive with having shortcomings or working on myself. It includes those things, actually, to show up in your conversation as the person you want to be, to try those things, because it's part of your journey, it's part of your path. There's meaning in making myself not less than with others, but present and not afraid to be afraid about having a different truth or a different opinion. Yeah, buddy. This podcast is seriously getting really long, and I'm crashing out, man. I'm crashing out, but I got some more to go, man. I got some more to go. Yeah, this guy, he said, if you cold approach people, if you talk to people, you say hi, give them a compliment. Why do you do it? You do it to get out of your own head, to build it into your life. Some people do that. Some people learn to do that from the parents probably, or see other people doing it and they're naturally extroverted and they do it. But others find it hard. I'm maybe an introvert and I found it hard to talk to people for so many different reasons. Your hormones are changing. You have all these thoughts and you're confused. You don't know what's going on. But you can build it into your life. People I want to shout out to, two people I wrote in my notes, for example, if anyone has that context by being in school, is Amon and Cohen. Like, they've said hi to me so much. And I don't even know why they were saying hi to me, but I felt so seen when they said it to me, and I was confused. I almost projected my insecurity upon them. Like, they want me, they want to get to know me, or they're being selfish. And I was like, that's not right. They're just saying it to be kind. They're just saying to get to know. And maybe it's for connections too, but who cares if it's for connections if the other person's a good person and you also want to be connected to them? Dude, build it into your own life. Hey, are you open to a compliment? Go to the source of your fear and say I love you to a random person. Not actually say I love you. In the video, they said that's the sense of it. Like, I love you. And do things with love. Go out of your way to do that with love. And some people will think you're a weird cunt. That was a quote from the video. But you're chilling, man. You're chilling, man. I support you, dog. Not being a cunt. Not being a creepy weirdo. But going out of your way to try and spread love and kindness to other people. This is where the rubber hits the road. A lot of people journal. A lot of people read. A lot of self-help junkies like me go to podcasts, books, talk to people about stuff, host a podcast and talk to people, try to learn things. But where the rubber actually hits the road, really, is when you show yourself you can be a higher self. When you go out of your way to get out of your head, to talk to people, to feel more connected to the world, to others, and to make someone's day, to make multiple people's days, if that's possible. And don't make it a thing. It's it's not just selfishness. There's a selflessness to it. There's no mind to it. Like, you can warm up and say hi to people, approach everyone, not just the hot girls. Don't make it a thing. Make it a part of your life. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first. You might not feel real, like it's real or legit. But you're trying on shoes here too. And I think these are some of the nicest shoes you can try on, personally. If it goes sideways, I'll keep you guys updated in a later episode. But I doubt it's going to go sideways. I think this is probably like the most amazing thing. That's... How does this episode relate to is it bad to be chopped? I think what I'm saying is, even if you think you're chopped, realize that you have so much more agency outside of being chopped. That being healthy, working on your health, being socially connected, those things are more important than being chopped. And whether or not chopped is objective or subjective, yeah, I think it's probably a little somewhat objective. But yeah, and I had the insecurity. But that insecurity is so much more worse. The insecurity about being chopped, about not moving forward in life, is so much worse than actually just being somewhat ugly. Like, I don't think anyone's actually ugly, because when you start seeing women, like, I talked about this on the Minvy and Jason episode when Minvy asked me to rank girls. Joe Rogan said this, like, there's a difference between hot girls and beautiful girls. He was also talking about his wife. His wife is a beautiful woman. Hot girls, like, evolutionarily, they look attractive, and you want to mate with them, and they have high fecundity or whatever. But beautiful girls they could also be hot too, or women who have character, have integrity, have kindness. He's just so nice. That's what Joe Rogan said about his wife. And I honestly think that's the case with being chopped or not. Like, you should just stop worrying about how ugly you are, how you think other people will think you're ugly. It's going to be a natural instinct or impulse probably that comes up, but you shouldn't take that thought as who you are, and move forward in trying to become a more secure person. And that character is so much more attractive and truly, truly meaningful, truly bringing you joy. Like, the relationship where, hold on, I'm going to read this passage from this book that just came today on Amazon. It begins with you. Jillian Turecki writes in the chapter, "Lust is not the same thing as love." There's one subtitle that says, "When to say I love you." I was thinking about this question actually, and I read this. I was like, hey, this makes sense. And it applies here too. The I love you we say at the beginning of a relationship is not the same I love you we say to each other after we've built a strong foundation of trust. This doesn't diminish our love in the beginning. It simply means that love and the meaning it carries changes as we grow and as we grow closer to each other. I can't tell you when it's the right time to say I love you, but I can tell you that it's not the right time if you haven't had your first argument yet. I can also tell you that the I love you you say in the beginning won't be the same I love you that you say once you've seen each other at your worst and have been through tough times together. I believe saying the words is important. Regardless of our love language, we need to hear the words I love you come out of each other's mouths at least sometimes. If you feel it, say it. But remember, love isn't just a feeling. It's a verb. It's a verb. So when she was saying, I can also tell you that I love you, you say in the beginning, won't be the same as I love you, that you say once you've seen each other at your worst and have been through tough times together. If you haven't had your first argument yet, those things, those actions you take on a level to show your love to another person, if you do truly love them, if you and it is someone you want to be with, who's someone who invests in you, and someone who you truly want to invest in too, and build something together. It's not just attraction. It's not just the biochemical response of someone you think is attractive, but like you believe that you can build something with them. Like that's where attraction is part of it. Lust or whatever this idea of being chopped or not comes in. It's like that's so much more important. The actions and verbs you take with other people. It starts off with talking to people. It starts off with showing up as your higher self and sitting in that discomfort and unknown and kind of fear. That's where love comes from. I think that's also kind of attraction stems from there. And you shouldn't be too worried about attraction, because what's most important at the end, you don't want to get into a marriage and get divorced and go to another marriage and get divorced with all these people who were never meant, who didn't want to build with you. You want to go with someone who's beautiful, who truly has that, whose character and integrity is in line with your values. That's what creates a meaningful life. That's what allows for, I think, a meaningful relationship, not the whether or not you have sex with them and whether their skin is glimmering. You know, have you? Okay, this is another tangent. Have you heard the song "Creep" before? Like, just like your skin is. Hold on, let me see. Radiohead, "Creep." I don't even know what the song is about, but just the lyrics was like, couldn't look you in the eye, you're just like an angel, your skin makes me cry. Like, you shouldn't be, I don't think you should find a woman whose skin makes you cry. I mean, if her skin makes you cry, then great. But yeah, so being child is not so bad, I don't think. Being child feels bad, we all know, guys. Fuck. But I think at a deeper level, it's something about insecurity. It's something, and there's a greater truth in having a real relationship over having the feeling of, you know, sexual lust over someone. So yeah, those are my thoughts on is being bad chopped? Is being chopped bad? No. Last thing I want to talk about, if you don't want to listen to this, you can skip to the blooper and listen to that if you want. Oh, goodness gracious, man. I don't even know if you want to even listen to the blooper or watch that. But my last topic is about lust. I watched a video on YouTube that was basically like lust consumes you. Lust fucks with you, and you shouldn't have it. These are biblical videos. It's like, yeah, I know. Because really what disturbs me is when I go to the gym and all these hot women are like, not all, but a lot of women have like, a lot of women are attractive. I think they're attractive. And they have like yoga pants on and it's like super tight. And like, should I look at them? Like, is it, before I thought lust, it's the feeling was bad, but I think it's natural. Is it bad to kind of kindle a little fire with it when you look at someone? It's hard not to. It's like, should you just not look at them? Now you just feel like it's like this guy, right, on YouTube who is called like, who does testosterone maxing, like maxing your testosterone naturally. He says like, when you're in the grocery store, like, just don't go to the crap section. Don't go to the junk food section. Don't look at it. What you don't see is what you don't consume, right? Which makes sense. So if you're in that grocery aisle and you're just pondering it, maybe you're not going to do it in the moment, but I think next time there's a chance that it might become a habit. And it might, on a bad day, you might be feeling like grabbing like an ice cream sandwich from the freezer in the ice cream section at Vaughn's, because you walked by it sometimes because you didn't really care about seeing it, but now it suddenly hits you. It hits you like a wave. Been there, done that. What was I talking about? Yeah, so with women, should you look at them? Like, I think this thing is going to help a lot. This 100 girls, just talking to people, just cold approaching everyone, saying hi to people, like that helps a lot because you see people for who they are, not for how sexy they are. I would like to have a sexy wife, but I mean, I don't think that's what is important. Also, I'm 18 years old. My testosterone is sky high. My hormones are sky high in their circulation. So maybe I'll have more clarity after I'm 25 or 22, whenever this puberty thing ends. Dude, I don't know if I'm speaking too loud into the mic, but the video said lust, it changes how you see people. I think it consumes you and distracts you, definitely like dopaminergically with porn. But this guy, who I thought was really confident and funny, he is, when he was a cold approaching girls, Dylan McKnight, he had this video that he said that he had spent like $20,000 on OnlyFans. He was addicted to pornography for like 10 years. It fucked him up. He's erectile dysfunction. He can't get on with a woman. He's hurt women. He's hurt the people he's been in a relationship with. He was addicted to this shit. And like, yeah, that I think that's evidence enough that, porn, especially like intense lust in an unrealistic way, in a person, in a way where you're not involved in the sex, or like you're watching people have sex, that it probably fucks with you. And seeing him saying like, I've been quote unquote feeling hollow for the longest time. He was crying in that video, unquote. He was crying in the video. Shows me that people are so much more complex here than they look. Because he was fucking beasting, like so funny, and not just funny, just like he was able to hold a conversation, connect with the girls he was talking to in this cold approach video. But if he's gone through that and he's struggling, he's fighting that, then there must be something that we can't see in a lot of people. Not that wasn't my point. That lust fucks with you. It's not great. I'm gonna just try to talk to York about this. Hopefully, a podcast with him coming up soon. And just whether or not masturbation with imagination too is lust, because basically how masturbation with imagination works is, for me at least, is it's kind of like a porno in your head that you create, and it's not exactly as specific, but I guess I'm drawing on my past pornography experiences to create an image of a girl or a woman, or it could be a real person, someone I know or I'm attracted to, in my head, to have sex with them, and that's what makes me goop. That's such a nasty word, honestly, but yeah, that's what makes me come. COME, to the point of to get off. What is that way you say? What is the euphemism that people were saying that to yeah, I don't know. I forgot the euphemism for it. That not really euphemism. It just sounds a little better to me. Dylan McKnight said he was feeling fraudulent. He says, feeling fraudulent, like you don't know who I really am. This was like his last YouTube video, like a couple months ago. I feel pretty bad for him. He said, quote unquote, I'm not a good guy, unquote. Which is exactly what I'm dealing with. This idea of feeling fraudulent as I choose to show up to become the person I want to be, to try in trying on new things, right? And I think my response to that, to Dylan McKnight, and really for myself as well, is I think we need to be able to accept the imposter syndrome and to do things that remind you of you are, who you are, to emotionally invest in things in your life. Matthew Hussey's dating coach, he said, you can accept yourself every day. That's what self-love is. Remind yourself, like, you are the only person responsible for taking care of this person. That person is you. No one else is going to like you more than you do yourself. No one else is going to love you more than you love yourself. So go show up for yourself. We might as well love ourselves. I don't think might as well seems very gloomy, but it's really just, a heck of a important idea. So, yeah, it's pretty hot. That's it. This episode surely was longer than the other one. Surely was more elongated than the other one. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you learned something. And I hope I don't get off on this whole popularity podcasting dilemma. This ego drive thing. I do really hope that. Gosh. Okay, guys. So, peace out. I love you. You can be loved. You will be loved. You will find people. Your best friends are ahead of you. Some of the people you're going to be most close with, most genuine, honest, fun relations are ahead of you. That's something that Mel Robbins said, and something that she said in her book. Her book called The Let Them Theory. And that's hopeful, and that's probably true too. Hey y'all, I'm back for a second solo episode, this time with renewed knowledge and greater wisdom. I'm in this dark room right now because it's 9:55 p.m. and my brother's asleep. Hopefully he can't hear me. Hopefully he's asleep by now. He's a pretty deep sleeper. Like, I can make noise and he won't wake up. But basically he's on the wall that's across from me, so I just don't want to speak too loud, but I also don't want this mic to not pick up everything. Anyhow. Yeah, but I was going to show you guys this. If you can't read that, it says kick me on that post-it note. And he taped that to my back yesterday, and I wasn't looking, which is some devious shit, I think. I also apologize for the Lexi and Katie and Baggy and Lauren episode. If you heard me breathing like pretty loud, hopefully you didn't hear me too bad. I was listening to it in my car, like a short of it, and for both of them, and I was like, damn, what is that breathing sound? Anyways, today I'm going to talk about a topic that has been of great interest to me. Is it bad to be chopped? Actually, I wanted to, and I might have to bleep this out if Kyber doesn't let me read this, but I wanted to read a passage from Kyber's yearbook message, which is low-key really applicable for me. And it was, it said, okay, I just start from higher. I'll start from higher. Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson talk about the first paragraph of Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson talks about the importance of having the courage to create your own thoughts and evaluations of yourself. and what goes on around you rather than turning to someone else and having them explain it for you. I guess I'm kind of saying to trust yourself. Because try as you might, though you might find people who can put your experience into words better than you can, there will almost never be someone who understands what it's like to be you better than you do. You have the gift of living in yourself, of having your own thoughts, and conducting your own actions. So don't waste it just looking for other people to tell you how to understand yourself. Be curious, be honest with yourself, be brave, and never forget that I am here for you. I didn't need to read that. Never forget that I am here for you. I was debating whether or not to read it, and I decided I would just read it. But the part that I took away was the part about trusting yourself. Because that part is like literally what I've probably conditioned myself. Hold on, let me put this yearbook away. Probably conditioned myself to not be able to not do. And when you do that, you just feel like you're not real. Like you feel like a bot, like not an actual bot. Like when you're with people, they see you not for who you are necessarily, because you don't even trust yourself. You don't even know if the actions and the words you speak are the words and actions that you want to speak. And I guess that's what I'm working on right now. I had this misconception that being quirky, being weird as fuck, AF, is what being you means, being authentic means. But shout out to Kyber, because yesterday, was it today? No. I think it was yesterday. Well, anyhow. Wait, I swear. No, it must have been yesterday. Yeah. I recorded a podcast with him. I want to call it Infinity Stones Aura. Because yeah. But I learned that, like, being quirky is not necessarily being authentic. If you want to be quirky and it's part of who you like to be, who you want to be, then go ahead and do it. But that's not necessarily who I am, although it could be part of it. Who I am is shaped by just being normal. And that's a terribly simple realization, but it surprised the fuck out of me. It just surprised me yesterday. Because the first solo episode, I was trying to go crazy. I was trying to crash out. Which is fair, because I do sometimes feel like doing that. And I like doing that. And I hope it made you guys laugh in some capacity. But yeah, so today I want to talk about I'm chopped. Hold on, I want to yap a little more about. Maybe I'll just start speaking louder, because I feel like whispering is making me less expressive. I want to speak about something that happened. Dude, this sounds so serious. I want to speak about something that happened today. I want to yap a little, because there's some stuff that I guess is on my mind and shit. But you know how I was saying you should go try to talk to girls? Well, I didn't intend to start that officially, but today I was at high school, and I basically walked up. I was there for something, and I was just walking around the parking lot, because that's what I like to do after dinner. Walk, not walking around a parking lot. And there's this girl sitting in this pickup section. It's just her, because it's like 6:30 at this point. And I was like, I should go talk to her. And I should just like maybe not even talk to her, because she's like the only girl there. It might be weird. I might just be like, excuse me, where's the bathroom? And I think it's too late, actually. I'm going to leave this part in, but I'm just going to be like, this is all just the first section recording. Should I cut parts out? I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Should I continue doing this? I'm tired. I don't want to go to bed. I wanted to yap a little more because I wanted to talk about how, I just might be running out of my social battery, dude. I might just be running out of my social battery, bro. Speaking of chopped, who's not insecure about themselves being chopped? To let it go. This love has taken a song on me. I was so high, I did not recognize the fire burning in her eyes, the chaos that controlled my mind. Whispered goodbye, she got on a plane, never to return again, but always in my heart. Oh, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Alright, guys, I think I might include this in the podcast episode. I might restart. I probably do this at the end, as what's it called? What's it called again? Like at the end of movies when they have like people mess up scenes. Dude, fuck, I don't even remember. I'm just gonna go to bed, man, because I'm tired. I need to go to sleep. Gotta wake up tomorrow morning. I gotta go see the trainer. My shoulder cuffs, my rotator cuffs fucked up. It's getting better though. Yeah, I'll close this in the end. Good night.